Yay! What are you going to teach me? Can you put on some pants? What are we going to learn today?
We are going to learn about the wildfire conspiracy nut
Ooh.
who lit wildfires.
Why was it? Okay. All right. I'm intrigued.
There are 110 active fires in Quebec. Almost 1,200 people.
There's a lot of people out there who are looking at these fires and who see an alternate explanation. A lot of them point to arson. And you see some conspiracy theorists who believe that there is a deeper plot.
But unfortunately, it wasn't debunked aggressively enough before Joe Rogan said this on his show.
They've arrested left-wing people for lighting these forest fires, air quote activists. And this is something that's also not widely being reported.
Super Blanco, let's troop the light. A place that's excitement, kryptonite. You may fall asleep with no warning. Because Canada is boring, boring. Cause Canada is boring. Canada is boring. So boring. Canada is so fucking boring, boring. A real cool podcast with Reese and Jesse.
Hello and welcome to Canada is Boring. I am Reese the Waters, and with me is Jesse the Harley.
Hello. I do miss saying Canadian politics is boring. There was something fun about that title.
Just say it.
But it's not. Welcome to Canadian politics is boring. It's not though anymore. It's
just
sad.
say it if you want.
I'm a little sad.
Sorry that we missed an episode. I was in crippling pain.
Is this public or Patreon?
This is a public episode.
It's public.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But
we didn't have enough stored up to miss 1 week?
We didn't. We did. We used it up, but I was still in pain.
You were still in pain. It was like 2 weeks of...
Yeah.
What happened? Tell us about this. This is our
went
STD zone. For those who are unfamiliar, STD is the small talk dimension zone, which Reese came up with, and he's very proud of it.
I went for a Father's Day bike ride with my kids. It was wonderful. We had a beautiful time. Except for some reason, I can't work out why, I went over the handlebars.
You still don't know what happened.
I think there was a bump, but my wife was like, I checked, there was no bump. So I'm now going to change the story to say that I was avoiding an aggressive porcupine. That's not what happened, but it just sounds good.
I like it.
And then
an invisible moose.
And in 20 years' time, my making that story up will rewrite my memory, so that'll be the truth one day.
Oh, I like that.
I went over, I landed on my wrist and my ribs, and I bruised my ribs badly. So moving generally has been hard. But right now, I'm currently riding some painkillers.
Yeah, you mentioned.
I didn't feel very funny last week. I didn't feel funny.
Right. But now you feel funny.
I feel.
And you look funny.
That'll be the painkillers. Don't abuse painkillers, kids. If you find some painkillers in the cupboard, kids,
throw them in the toilet.
Throw them in the toilet,
and then tell your dad, tough it out.
Yeah, just walk it off,
What?
bro. Walk it off, bro. That's what you need to say to your dad.
Yeah, go into your kids, if you're listening, go into your parents' medicine cabinet. Any medicine you find, doesn't matter if you know how to read it or not, just flush it down the toilet. Take a photo of it before you do it. Show your parents the photo and tell them to walk it off.
Just walk it off.
Bro.
Yeah. How about you? Did you have any injuries, or did you just enjoy having a bit of a break?
No injuries, aside from this tooth.
And you said you're hungover.
Oh, yeah, just,
What were you drinking?
A gin with my roommate.
Nice.
Johnny.
Mother's ruin.
My roommate, Johnny Collins. JC.
Like Jesus Christ.
Yep.
Except with gin. Did you say water into
Drinking gin with JC. Turn water into gin.
Yeah. Christianity would be much bigger a religion if he did that. Not everyone's a wine drinker, but everyone could appreciate gin.
I'm not really that hungover, honestly. It's just a touch. Just a touch of the hover. The hover? The hover. The hangover.
The hover.
The hover. A touch of the hover. I made that up just now.
Just slightly
accidentally.
Over. Yeah. Not like it's not like you can't do things. It's just a slight sheen of just. Meh.
I feel like we're both on similar spectrums today. You're high, and I've got a touch of the hover.
I'm on the way up, and you're on the way down.
Yeah. like glass elevators. We're waving to each other as we go in opposite directions.
So
It's fun. I've never hung out with high Reese before.
I'm not high.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
I'm just numb. Numb and drinks.
You got to share, man. Come on, you don't need it all. Let's go.
But you know what? That's what I realized with these painkillers is that it says to like take them orally, but I just chopped them up and snorted them. They weren't faster.
Kids also do not do this. Oh, Reese. Okay.
Yeah. Cut it with dog wormer. Works great.
God.
Anyway.
So yeah, it's been 2 weeks of Reese being in pain, and now he's stoned, and it's fun.
No, and also I do feel a bit better as well.
I wonder why.
So
So
anyway,
strange.
Yeah.
So was it a full 180 flip over the handlebars? Like, was it?
Yeah, I did the full thing.
That's amazing.
And then I had the
you might
initial-
want to get your I'm wondering if it's like a brake issue or something. Like, no, that wouldn't make any sense. You have to
No,
squeeze,
my
like-
bike's fine. I did check it, but
Yeah, okay.
I think it's mainly just because my dad's broken his ribs so many times because he's been mountain biking for years.
Yeah.
And he was like, well, it's pointless going to the doctor because they don't do anything. You just got to heal.
Yeah. Yeah.
So-
that's right. Yeah. Yeah. I know what you mean. Like I sprained my toe really badly playing volleyball when I was in Spain in a little beach town called Fuengirola, which took me forever to figure out how to pronounce. It's fun to say. Say it with me.
Fuengirola.
That's it. That's very good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm European.
And you can't speak French though.
I know because that's not the only language there.
No, but you can't even
There's a
pronounce
whole-
it properly. Like there's nothing.
I can't pronounce France
You're so bad at no, just French in general. Like that.
I am terrible at French. Yeah. I'm just bad at languages. I can't even pronounce Welsh, my own supposed language. So
Reese, I got a secret for you. Okay,
got a secret.
nobody can.
They can.
Nobody.
Welsh people can.
No, it's a lot.
Welsh people can pronounce Welsh.
Okay, I suppose I'll give you that one.
Actually, do you know what? There was
I was just going to go back to the toe thing
sorry.
real quick.
Good.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it.
Sprained my toe, and I looked it up. There's nothing they can do. Nothing. They just put a splint on it just to keep it straight. That's it. Like it's just like fucking wait. It'll take like a
Deal
year.
with it.
Deal with it. It's
Deal
like
with
you
it.
said. So,
Walk
but
it
sorry.
Walk it off.
This is a fun episode because I've got a touch of the hover. I'm getting caffeinated, and Reese is high on painkillers, and we haven't even got. We're just kind of shooting the shit.
I was
going
going
on,
to say,
dear listener? Thanks for listening to us ramble on incoherently. What were you going to say?
I was going to say that only Welsh people can pronounce Welsh properly. However,
Oh,
I did meet an American once. She's a professor in Wales. She's from New York, and she learned Welsh. She's a Welsh folklore expert, or just a folklore.
that's
expert.
fucking cool.
And she learned Welsh.
That's her job. Is a Welsh folklore
Well,
expert.
she's a folklore. She's just a folklore expert.
That's so cool.
She knew some of these stories, but she'd also learned Welsh to be better.
That wasn't her job though.
Yes, she was a professor
Oh,
in
that's,
a university.
what a cool job.
I know. She's very highly educated, very
That's so
smart,
cool.
really nice person as well. Knew so many great.
What's her name? Shut her up.
I can't remember.
Oh, you're a bad friend.
Doctor New York.
Doctor
Welsh.
Welsh. Yeah.
Anyway, she's based in Cardiff University. I think she was brilliant.
All right, here. Put these pants on. Get out of the pile of leaves, and let's teach me something.
So let's talk about wildfire conspiracy nuts.
Yeah, I'm very excited.
And this is what I wanted to talk about for a while, because as someone who was evacuated with a wildfire at the time, you did see all the far right media talking about.
Oh yeah, the wildfire that you were a part of. I
yeah,
remember
I wasn't
that.
part of it.
I mean, it was you were almost
I was running
you had to-
away from it.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. You had to evacuate. To can we remind our audience what happened? A little backstory here.
We were evacuated for a week.
When was this?
16,000 people were evacuated last May.
Was it a year ago?
It was a year ago, 2023. 16,000 people in my neighborhood. There was a much bigger fire down in Yarmouth. Less people were evacuated because it's more sparsely populated. And wildfires all across Canada as well. But I think 150 structures were burnt down. So 100 of those were homes, like neighbors' homes.
Oh yeah, right.
So it was we were really lucky. We were totally untouched. But it did get weirdly close. It wasn't that far away
Right.
from us. It was like
And
a kilometer away.
And because of the structure of your suburban neighborhood, there was like one way in and one way out. And
For us, we're right in the deep end of the neighborhood in the forest.
so it was
And there's a
just,
point where the last fire hydrant is, and then another 1.5 to 2 kilometers to our home. So from beyond that point, there's only one way in and one way out, and
wow.
no water
oh wow,
apart from the lakes around. So it was pretty scary.
yeah. So does this have to do with this? The wildfires from last year?
I want to talk about it because I remember at the time.
No, but like, today's topic have to do with last year's
wildfires? Yeah.
Okay.
So the weird thing was that all the far right media were talking about how it was the world, the global elite or whatever, the world's. I don't know. It was a conspiracy saying that
it wasn't.
They were being lit on purpose so that they could blame climate change, and it was part of this kind of globalist agenda and all this kind of thing.
I genuinely enjoy a good conspiracy theory, but it has to be good. And the reason why it's for me,
it's got to be good.
It's got to be good. But like, here's the thing: to be a good conspiracy theory, it has to be possible. It has to be actually possible. It can't be like Bigfoot stole my truck. Something. You know what I mean? Like plausible.
That's a pretty good one. I like that one already.
Thanks. Plausible is better than possible because I guess anything is technically possible if you use your imagination. But like that's not an impossible conspiracy theory that people are setting these fires. That's not impossible, right? Like, and not only is it not impossible, it would be pretty easy during like a dry heat. If someone's like, here's $10,000, go set a fire in those woods, like, okay, that's not so intensely far fetched that we'd be like, that's fucking impossible. No one would ever, you know what I mean? Like it's possible,
But this one does have a conspiracy. Somebody was setting some of these fires.
Somebody was? We have proof of this?
Yeah, but it wasn't the person. It wasn't the global elite. That's the point. They're saying that it was some kind of environmentalist lighting fires to destroy the environment in their efforts to save the environment. If you know what I mean, it was basically saying that.
Look how bad climate change is. We have to do something.
Yeah. Oh, look, everything's on fire. So which is that weird thing of saying that those people who were trying to defend the environment went out of their way to destroy it, to make people and to stop people pulling oil out of the ground.
That's honest to God, that's not a bad idea.
I don't think it's a good idea. Yeah, but
it got everybody's attention.
It did get everybody's attention.
Started talking about fires and global climate change,
or maybe it's just climate change. Sorry, it's so stupid. Anyway, so this story is in Quebec. So, Quebec had historic forest fire season. And that doesn't mean it was historically fun. It was historically shit for most people. So at a press conference in Quebec City, Eric Rousseau, a general manager of the protection agency, which I can't say, which is Société de Protection des Forêts contre de la Feu, or SOPFEU, SOPFEU. He said the record-breaking season, 4.5 million hectares of forest had burnt, including 1.1 million hectares in inhabited areas.
Jeez.
So a quarter of that fire was in places where people live, not just where the animals live and people don't go.
That's
except
sad.
For hunters or people who are lost.
Right.
Yeah. Or people who have been abducted by aliens and dropped off. Another conspiracy theory. Or Bigfoot in his stolen truck. It was an all-time record for Quebec, and it was what burned in 2023 was comparable to the total area that burned over the previous 20 years.
Oh my God! In Quebec or in Canada?
In Quebec.
Wow.
So 20 years of burning. The equivalent happened just in 1 year following that. So this year seems so far not as bad. It's good. It's not as bad. Touch wood, because there's still a long season left to go. Maxime Bernier, who you've met.
Maxime.
He tweeted.
Maxime, not Maxime. Maxime Bernier, who I did meet, and I got a selfie with. I had my favorite selfie in the world.
Flipping the bird.
And
then they asked you to delete it, and you did, and then you pulled it out your trash.
Yeah.
And we put it on the internet.
We did. I'm so proud of it. I wonder if they've listened to any of these episodes.
Probably not.
I bet they did. Honestly, because they went in and they liked they followed and liked our Instagram page.
But then I imagine they actually listened to the episode where you said,
I hope they did.
You called all of their followers and their leader pretty much insane for 40 minutes.
Out of their fucking minds.
So Maxime tweeted on June the 5th, I bet a good portion of the wildfires raging across the country was started by green terrorists who want to give their climate change campaign a little boost. So again, it was that.
Again, so like this is fun because like that's not impossible. It's not an impossible thing to do. It's not even not impossible. It wouldn't be hard. You just have to be a certain type of sociopath and be bribed or have a certain, like there's this is not an impossible conspiracy theory. This is not like the moon, faking the moon landing. That's improbable, incredibly improbable, and it's plausible but incredibly improbable. One man taking a lighter and just going click.
I know, but
that's
but
it had to be a certain mindset.
No, but that's not a conspiracy. That's an arsonist. That's not a conspiracy. A conspiracy, is some like, man in a robe in on the 12th level of a basement under the UN in New York. Everybody else is nude. There's some candles going on. They've just sacrificed a virgin. And they're like, let the minions know that what we need to do now is start wildfires to make them think that it's global warming. So therefore,
I see.
We can improve the environment for some reason. That
a conspiracy there is a group of people getting together to right. It's not just an arsonist.
Because before the 20...
Because it could be an arsonist who had that idea.
Yeah.
But that's not even a conspiracy theory. That's just an arsonist.
Because even if the term conspiracy used to be only used in like law enforcement, if someone had planned someone's murder, it was like a conspiracy to murder someone.
Right.
Or it's just some people planning. So to say it's a conspiracy, yes, it was a conspiracy by some idiot with a lighter, but it wasn't like...
It wasn't a group of people who got together and decided this.
Yeah.
That's what makes it a conspiracy.
Some evil elite.
Okay,
the idea
I got you. Yeah.
Or some kind of evil green terrorist network. But which, again, for environmentalists to be evil, it implies that they're doing evil things to save the environment. It's kind of a weird...
It's not that weird at all. A lot of movies are based off of this. Like a lot. So many many books and movies.
Depopulation, that kind of stuff.
The whole, we have to destroy in order to rebuild.
Yeah, like Kingsman. Have you seen that film?
Yeah, I love it. It's great.
So hey, let's let's make everyone kill each other and then we'll just all the rich people can take
so many movies and books are based on this. The villain of all, there's so many where the villain's has these ideological ideas of a perfect society, but in order to get that perfect society, we have to destroy the society we have right now. And that's the only way we can motivate people to build a better one. So many, I don't know if actual villains were like this in real life, but this
pretty much describing Elon Musk now.
This is not this is not a new concept.
It's why the super rich, the 1% are all building apocalypse bunkers, because they just want to be ready for that inevitability.
I want my own bunker. I think that'd be really fun. Honestly.
You don't? I've got a basement. Does that count?
How deep underground is it? Does it have windows? Can you see outside?
4 foot, and half of it is above.
Doesn't count.
It's fine.
You got to be completely underground.
So, with all this going on,
or sub basement, a sub basement.
I don't have a sub basement. Do you know my dream house would have a sub basement with a bat cave with cars in?
Yes. Yeah,
I just sit down there playing video games or something. I don't know.
I like that.
Yeah. Brooding.
Let's do it. Can we build one?
Brooding.
Can we build it? You remember your idea for a podcast shed in your backyard?
Yeah.
Can we just build a tiny shed with a couple stools and a couple microphones, but there's a secret hatch that goes down to a
Sounds
ladder.
Like a lot of work.
Well, you're super rich, so you could just pay someone to do it.
I'm super rich.
There's a long ladder
I'm
going
not
down,
bunker rich,
maybe 100 feet, or an elevator if it's that deep down, right? And then you get down there, and there's this giant open area, right, with just this massive man cave where you can just sit and play video games.
A literal man cave.
A literal man cave, right, where the children and your imaginary wife don't know where you are. They just think you're in your podcast shed.
Where's he gone? He's in the podcast
He's
shed.
in the podcast shed, yeah.
No, he's not. He's in the sub-level of the podcast shed.
Yeah, exactly.
And that finally concludes where all the savings went. So you've got all these people like Maxime Bernier saying, the environmentalists are starting it. But some people on Facebook, Facebook.
I've heard of it.
Yeah.
It doesn't exist anymore.
No. It was, and we'll remember it though.
I do remember it.
Yeah. So this guy called Brian, his last name, I'm just going to call him Brian, but he's got a...
It's kind of funny actually with Facebook, all elderly and the retirees and above, the retirees and then the elderly are just now getting into Facebook when it's nobody's using it. It took them 15 years.
Yeah, exactly.
But they finally figured it out.
Exactly. So this is so he was posted in French. So this is an auto translation. So
I made that statistic up. I have no idea if that's true or not.
You're making up stats.
Yep.
Okay. So
this is an auto translation from
it's
what
an
he said?
auto translation from Brian's Facebook. So
Who's Brian?
Brian is the guy. Brian is
This episode is all over the fucking place.
Brian is the.
I'm so sorry, everybody.
Brian's the main character of this story.
Okay.
Brian.
We're just finding that out now.
Yeah, Brian Pervilleur. I'm just going to call him Brian.
Okay.
He posted this, and bearing in mind, this grammar in English might not be. Well, it's not even. He wasn't writing in English. His language skills are probably better than this. It's just a bad translation.
Right.
French firefighters made a report and go back to France, saying who came to help extinguish the fires in Quebec instead of extinguishing they contained forest fires. There are lots of questions. Blah blah blah. So basically, he's talking about a French fire force that came over, but he's talking about the way that they were trying to extinguish fires and manage the fires when they were trying to put them out. And he said, our government and elite want to burn, not complicated. Since 2020, we are in a conspiracy of the New World Order of 2030. Light it up because time is getting serious. They're basically saying there's an ultra evil plan and they want to, it's something to do with the world's elite. It's kind of nonsense. Basically saying that the wildfires are part of the New World Order.
Oh.
And then he was posting videos. This one, he said, this is happening. Canada pulls when I say climate change doesn't exist, but being invented and manufactured by our governments and the elite of the United Nations World Economic Forum and the OMS for their 2030 New World Order tabernacle.
That's a swear word, you know that, right?
So basically saying the climate change.
You have to say it like a swear word.
Yeah. So all these so he was like angry online. He was posting all these videos, conspiracy videos, reposting conspiracy content, probably InfoWars, Alex Jones, all that bullshit.
Yeah.
Into all that kind of stuff. Saying climate change doesn't exist, blah, 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 blah. And then there was a news article that came out.
Yeah.
And I'll read it to you.
Hold on. I want to open this bubbly, but
Open the bubbly. How's that?
From the moment Mick and Keith met on a platform in the London Underground with Mick carrying a handful of R&B albums, that was the moment the Rolling Stones began their journey. Through to U2 as a high school band in Dublin, from obscurity to absolute fame packing stadiums globally. How did our biggest music legends make the leap? I'm David Anthony, and I'm the host of From Garage to Stadiums. I read my first rock biography when I was 13 years old, and it was about Jimi Hendrix, how he went from a little-known musician in Seattle to world famous for his guitar-playing prolifics. And I was bitten by the bug on how all these rock stars had these rags-to-riches stories. Passion, talent, luck, and even scandal often came together to propel these stars from obscurity to household name. Did you know that before he became the lead singer of Led Zeppelin, Robert Plant was an accountant? Each episode, join myself and an author of a rock biography or director of a rock documentary to explore that journey. You're going to get behind the scenes. You'll learn where these individuals came from, their early influences, and who shaped their sound. If you like stories of entrepreneurs who made it against the odds, you'll see parallels in these stories of our music legends. They too had the drive and will to overcome the many challenges to make it to the top. On this show, you'll hear stories about the band and its members, from young adults to rock fame, the evolution of their sound, a recommended playlist, and hear their top songs. Whether you're a casual music fan or a hardcore music aficionado, you'll love Garage to Stadiums to hear the stories of legends in rock, punk, alternative, and more. The stories, the journey, the wild behind the scenes, and much more. Subscribe to Garage to Stadiums.
There we go.
I say Smart is brought to you by Canada's Boring.
So this is a twist for you. A Canadian man who posted conspiracy theories on social media claiming the government was deliberately starting wildfires has pleaded guilty to starting 14 blazes that forced hundreds from their homes.
Oh my God.
Brian Paré, appearing in Quebec court Monday, admitted to 13 counts of arson and 1 count of arson with disregard.
Was he the same? Life. Is this the same guy that's saying there was a conspiracy?
Yeah. Turns out it was him.
That's very funny. So it sounds like he wanted to get caught. He sounds like he was proud of it. And so he put out this it's a conspiracy. You should look into this. You should totally look into this more. Well, and then they didn't. And he's like, well, I mean, I did it.
Well, so they had to evacuate 400 people and 870 hectares were destroyed because of it.
Jesus Christ, Brian.
But do you know what I think? I think he did it. And then he was like, shit, I'm going to get caught. I know, I'll blame the New World Order.
Oh, that's interesting. I don't know. I think he was proud. I think he was proud and wanted to get caught.
I think that he's a very troubled individual.
Well, I think that's kind of obvious.
A little bit of punishment and then help.
And then what?
A little bit of punishment, a little bit of prison time and then help.
Yeah.
Or maybe just help and prison time. I don't know. Secure help.
I would never do this because that's dangerous and people would lose their lives and it's just horrible. But like, I like fire. I wouldn't call myself an arsonist. I don't go around setting fire. I like it. I enjoy it. You know, I'm not scared.
A nice fire, like in a fireplace on an open.
No, but like
like an open fireplace.
Yeah, no, I love that
on a cold day.
Sure,
lovely.
That's beautiful. But like even more, like I'm not afraid of fire.
You should be because it will kill you.
I know, but like I'm weirdly not afraid of it. Like we had a grease fire on.
Just got a picture of you. Picture in my head of you toasting marshmallows going, I'm not even afraid. Look how close I'm getting to the flames.
No, like I don't know if it was a grease fire or what it was. There's some kind of fire on our stove. And it was, it was medium sized. It was enough that my roommate, like he was cooking or whatever, and he just started shaking and didn't know how to deal with it. And he was like running around kind of looking for something. And I just calmly went over and like turned off the stove and like I just blew it out. Right? Just like seriously, just like with my breath, just calmly. There's a big enough fire, but I could do it. It took a minute and then it was done. And and he was terrified and I was completely, fire does not frighten me. And I don't know why. I have no idea. It should frighten me.
It goes again, even animals are afraid of
fire. Right?
Yeah.
It just doesn't. I don't know. I don't get it. I mean, I haven't been in like the middle of a blaze. That might do it.
Yeah. Exactly.
Right? But,
but Brian lit so many fires. He quoted saying he does not remember.
Oh, fuck. Sorry. Oh my God. No, I have a story about a fire, like a blaze, a major blaze that I was in.
Okay.
Yeah, it was. I must have told this on the story before.
You're not afraid of fire so much that you don't care about the blaze you're in.
I remember my adrenaline was pumping and I was a little bit afraid, but not like terrified. So we were camping. This was a few years back. We were camping with some friends. I'll keep their names out of this. And we were at our friend's girlfriend's camp plot, and his girlfriend wasn't there yet. They were coming. They're on their way, and we were there first. And we made a little campfire, and then we put out the campfire, so we thought, and then we went into a canoe. And we canoed. On the way back, we saw the smoke coming from, we're like, what's happening? And we canoed in, and there was like this giant barn, 2-story barn, and then a cabin, and then a giant sort of plot of like clear-cut, just like land,
okay.
Surround, and it was just grass. And the whole acre, I don't know if it was an acre, it was a large plot, was just ablaze, just this massive and we're like, fuck. Right? And we just jump out and immediately get to work. Right? Like I'm like, okay, what do I know about fire? Don't put it out. Get rid of create a border, create a perimeter where it can't spread further, and like make sure that the the walls of the barns and the cabin are wet. And so that's what I did first, and made sure. And then we like
were you doing pissing?
No, like we're at a lake, so we would get, and there was splashing over, and then we found a hose, and there was a hose with like water, so we managed to get that, and it took us hours, and like my heart was racing, right, like just racing, and there's so much adrenaline. And I in that moment, like in the middle of a blaze, fighting a fire that was ever growing, I would say I was a little scared, just a little bit, but not much. And then I spent hours just putting it out. But like, I guess that would be the threshold of like, oh yeah, this is a little frightening.
Yeah, it'd be more frightening if you were trapped in a house.
Yeah, okay.
That's the scary kind of fire. Anyway, but
we put it out. We actually put it out.
Nothing. No, congratulations.
The cabin and the barn were totally fine, and like we just we just sprayed the fuck out of the ground for like an hour because fire can move underground. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I found that out doing the wildfires. They were like, "Hey, fire moves underground." I was like, "Great."
That's awesome.
What next? Yeah. A shark on a Harley Davidson.
Bigfoot in a truck.
Exactly. So Brian lit so many fires he couldn't remember how many he lit, but they did find evidence that he did 14. So basically, first responders grew suspicious when there were a number of fires happening over a short period of time without any disconcertible cause. So basically they were like, right, there's wildfires, but we can't find a cause. It wasn't like a campfire got out of hand or, a church mislaid some candles or whatever.
Right. But I mean, like wildfires can... Can't they just usually, spontaneously sort of...
They can start, but usually this was
it has to be like so insanely hot and dry. No, just the right circumstances.
But also as well, they don't tend to happen close together on that basis. If they are spontaneous, it's quite rare. It does happen.
All right. Yeah.
So they became a bit kind of...
I mean, it's not that rare. We have fire watch stations all throughout, the world looking for just that.
No, but my point is they were being started. Rather than being spotted. That they were being started.
Right. No, it was, in other words, like they're like, this is the people who are in the know about wildfires are like,
this isn't normal.
This is right. Yeah, there's something off about this.
And then the police realized that Brian was being spotted near several of the fires. So they were all doing their jobs. So then they found multiple social media posts of him accusing the government of starting the fires. And he posted a lot of conspiracy theories about the fires and the government involvement. So after a while, the police got permission to put a tracking device on his car.
Oh, interesting.
Because they were like, we think this guy's doing it. And then they put so they got special permission. They put like an A tag on his car, and then they were able to trace his movements to where the fires were starting.
See, this is amazing. I want to talk about this.
Because the conspiracies he was talking about, they're following me. They were following him.
That's amazing.
Because he was doing crimes.
So this actually kind of goes through my theory of if you want to be a criminal. This is no, really, like unless you're like caught dead to rights, right, doing whatever the crime is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? With that exception, right, of like, oh my God, there's a giant HD camera right in my face while I'm lighting this fire, and it's clear as day that this is who I am.
Exactly.
With that exception, you can pretty much get away with any crime as long as you do your due diligence and try to not get caught. You know what I mean? Like put a little bit of effort into not getting caught, right? You can get away with almost any crime once. Because the way they catch you is they try to find you doing it again.
It's got to be a pattern.
There's got to be a pattern.
Yeah.
You want to rob a bank? Go ahead. Do it once. If they think you're a bank robber but they can't prove it, they'll follow you. So they'll try to find you doing it again. But if you never do it again,
just do one bank, one murder.
Yeah, there you go.
Just work your way through
one arson.
One arson.
Yep.
Maybe they'll never catch you.
Yeah. I mean,
that's the Jesse promise.
There you go.
If you do one of every crime, you'll never get caught. My favorite thing is apparently some people believed that the fires were being started by space lasers.
That's funny.
That's pretty funny. So anyway, so he got arrested, and I think that one of the things is that what I like about it is the fact that all these conspiracy theorists who are saying the government's tracking me, they're doing everything I'm doing. The police did track him, but just because he was a criminal, not because he.
That's funny.
Not because of thought crime, because of crime.
Because of actual crime.
Because of actual crime. So Although the weird thing is, at this time, like not all politicians were kind of like. So Alberta Premier Danielle Smith was criticised because she refused to kind of associate climate change with the fires. Instead, she focused on the role of arsonists.
Ironically, they were right.
Well, it was sometimes, but lightning strikes, apparently, 53% of the fires were caused by lightning strikes.
Holy shit.
Which is kind of quite common, but
That's
obviously,
amazing.
but human-caused wildfires are pretty common too. It's just that, yeah. So
Kind of surprised that we don't have better firefighting technology after all these years. We're just still using water. Like, I know in house fires, there's like certain foams you can use to like suck all the oxygen out of the room, which is like extremely dangerous if there's any living things in there too. You know, you know.
Do you know what? I went to an emergency meeting, and the crazy thing was 16,000 people were evacuated. So they had an emergency meeting to update everyone on what was going on with fire safety and wildfire safety.
Yeah.
Literally,
This is last year.
No, this year. I went a couple of months ago. Only like 12 people were there. There were about 30 people, but half of the people were actual volunteer firefighters.
Oh, that's cool.
Concerned residents.
Yeah.
Literally like a dozen.
You should
people
become a volunteer firefighter in your community. That'd be fun.
I could. I don't know. Not my ribs the way they are. Right?
Yeah.
But the crazy thing was they talked about the technology.
Reese just shows up stoned out of his mind and Hank goes, I'm here to put out the fire.
I'll drive. Anyway, so
there's no fire. There's no car. You're just standing there naked in a pile of leaves
I'm
again.
stood at the bottom of the pole holding it going up. It doesn't work. So
the pole in the fire station or just a pole in the middle of the road?
Just a flag pole.
Just a flag.
But the crazy thing was they were talking about they've got these cameras now that rotate on the end of these really long masts, poles, and they have AI, like an AI software attached to the cameras, and they've got 3 of them around the city now. But eventually they're going to have 10 in total. And if it sees smoke, it cross references like 10 million images or photos of smoke, and it can kind of tell what's burning, how serious it is.
Fucking amazing.
And they can
finally AI being put to good use.
Exactly. It's not just people making photos of themselves looking more attractive instead of actually getting headshots done.
I have some of those photos. They're the best looking photos of me ever. You made them.
I know, I did. But then also they so you have that. They also have this amazing. They have this amazing kind of thing this vehicle that shoots water up in the air, and what it does, it increases the humidity in the area around it by 30 to 40%. So you know that dry air.
What are you talking about?
So they just
shoot water into the air.
Into the air, and what it does is it raises the humidity in the area around that vehicle. So if there's
the vehicle,
so wherever that vehicle is parked, shooting the water in the air.
You're going to have to go a little deeper into this.
So this vehicle parks up.
It's all in. The camera spots the smoke.
No, this has nothing to do with the cameras. This is something else.
Okay.
So the camera spots fire.
Well, that's what I thought. It spots the fire and then sends the vehicle. Are they associated or no?
The vehicle is just another tool they've got.
It's another tool. Okay.
So
what a neat segue when I was like, I wish there was better technology for fighting fires. And then we went right into the better technology for fighting fires.
I was there for 2 hours. They were explaining it.
This is so cool.
This vehicle goes in, it parks up, and then it shoots a jet of water in the air.
How much?
Like a mist.
Are we talking
like a lot of water?
Like a mist of water,
like a mist.
Or a super soaker spray of like.
So it increases the humidity. So all the wood and the grass that is dry becomes damp. So you can mist and dampen the forest around.
Is that enough to prevent the spread of the fire, though?
Yes, because it stops it from being dry. So it will.
But here's, I mean, like, okay, I mean, like, I'm not going to argue it because clearly these guys know way more about it than I do. But they're like, the thing with fire is like, it's hot and can evaporate water.
But it's going to travel slower.
Okay, right. So like, that's the thing is like, fire will make. Like fire creates dryness,
it does,
like because of the heat, but it'll slow down.
But also you constantly add in dampness at the same time.
Oh, it's okay. Right.
And then the other thing is giant sprinkler systems that they just put on the roof of a house, so it'll just constantly spray water over properties. So if the fire's coming nearby, it can protect the home and stop the fire from destroying the home.
It's interesting because like from what little I've understood about firefighting is that's the goal is not to put out the fire. Bizarrely,
yeah,
it's because the fire you let the fire put itself out. I saw this video of this guy's. He had it's like a veranda, not a veranda. It's like a self-contained veranda. What are those called? Like
self-contained veranda.
I don't know. What do you call it? Like it's like
gazebo.
A gazebo. Thank you. That's exactly what it is. He had a gazebo in his backyard. Right. He just built one. Right. And and for whatever reason, it was ablaze. Like intensely strong fire. Right. Just crazy. And his house was fine. His neighbor's house was fine. And like his neighbor and him and maybe somebody else had come over with like so much water, like hoses and everything. And they're just spraying the shit out of this gazebo for like, I don't know, 45 minutes. And it's not going out. It's just like the fire doesn't give a shit. Right. It's so hot. It's really impressive.
It's very hard to put out an indifferent fire.
Well, but like, I guess like that would make there's nothing we can do. Fire is when it gets that hot. We just have to let it burn itself out and make sure it doesn't spread because like putting it out, it seems like it's next to fucking impossible.
Yeah.
That's
crazy. Anyway, so that's the end of the story.
Is that the end of the story?
Yeah.
Oh.
Wildfire conspiracy.
That was a really long episode, but it was really interesting and fun.
So
thank you, dear listener, for sticking around this entire time. We appreciate it. We know this is a long episode.
Do you know?
I'm a little touch hungover, and Reese is stoned on painkillers, so that's our excuse.
Do you know the conclusion I came to? What if all the conspiracy theorists are the ones doing the conspiracy? What if all the people who have been probed by aliens are the ones doing the probing?
I like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, they're the ones who they're just obsessed with sticking.
I got
things
probed. Please probe me. So anyway, if you like this show, then go and access the premium content on our Patreon.
How many videos? How many episodes do we have over there on Patreon?
I've lost count. There's a lot of Patreon episodes.
Like, would you say 100? 50?
Probably like 50.
50 episodes, 50 bonus episodes at least.
Yes.
Yeah.
And some of it's wonderful.
Some of it's really fucking good. Like really, really, really fucking good.
Do you know what I'd say? It's the shit.
If you are on a long cross-country road trip and you're binging us and you want to support us and you're running out of episodes, there's more behind there. And
also on Apple Premium.
Apple Premium is the easiest way. You just literally click a button.
People are starting to subscribe on our Apple Premium.
That's awesome. Oh, that's great. Thank you so much for subscribing to Apple Premium. We really appreciate it. We hope you enjoy what's behind there. If you want to chat with us, you can do that on Patreon.
Yes.
If you just want some bonus content, you can do that on Apple Premium, just with a click of a button. It's so simple.
You will have a good time.
Yeah. So there's our admin. You want to quiz me?
Okay.
Or do you want to do this would be fun. Do you want to do an improvised heritage minute?
I can try.
I mean, you're pretty stoned.
Scenario with Brian.
Yeah. I don't even know what like Brian is. Yeah, just
what about Brian's diary?
I like it. Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
We got to add some music and sound effects though, because that's the proper, the proper heritage minute here. Okay. Yep.
Dear Diary, June the 1st, 2023. Oh my God, I hate the UN. Oh, look at them. I hate them so much. They've done so many horrible things to me. Anyway, this New World Order, no one can see the truth. No one can see the truth like me. I'm special. This conspiracy theory makes me feel special. I'm so special. No one else sees the world like I do. I'm so amazing. Yes, I spend 15 hours a day doing research on the internet, but that's only because I'm special and only I see the truth. I'm amazing. Anyway, I'm so special and amazing. I've decided that in order to make people more aware of conspiracies, I'm going to commit some crimes and then blame them on the conspiracies because that will help somehow. I'm not well. Day 2.
Does he end every single entry with "I'm not well"?
Today I lit wildfire. A few people spotted me, but luckily for me, I'm not part of the New World Order, so they'll never suspect me. Day 3.
You didn't end it with "I'm not well."
I'm not well. Day 3. I lit another wildfire. Some more people saw me, but again, I don't look like the UN. I'll be fine. I'm not a tall building in New York. I'm not well. Day 4. Some people followed me today. I don't know how they knew where I was going. It's almost like this is a tracker. I'm being watched by the UN. I lit another fire to blame the UN. God, I hate the UN. I'm not well. Day 5. I lit the biggest fire I've ever lit. I'm really not that well. Hundreds of people have been evacuated from their homes. People in my own community. I hate the UN. Why did the UN do this to them? I'm not well. Day 6. I just got arrested.
I'm writing this on my arm.
I lit so many fires I can't remember. I'm writing this on the wall of the prison cell in my own shit. I am not well. 4 exclamation marks, smiley face emoji.
Everyone else in the cell's backed up on the other side.
You're right, Brian. Would you like a glass of water, Brian?
A towel?
Exactly. There you go.
Maybe some like liquid hand soap. Or
Don't forget to sanitize.
Yeah.
There you go. How was that?
That's great.
Drugs are good. Do drugs. We'll see you soon. Thanks so much for listening. This has been Canada is Boring. I've been Reese the Waters. This is
Jesse the Harley.
Together.
Ultron.
No. Canada's Ultron.
See you guys next time. Thanks so much for sticking us in your ear holes. And all snug in there, just the way you like it. I really appreciate it. Yeah. We'll talk to you guys soon. I got nothing else to say. It was a long episode. It was a fun episode. We're glad you were along for the ride with us.